What would you do if you lost your job tomorrow or had to cover an unexpected hospital bill next week? If your answer is I'll figure this out later, then this video is for you. Today we're going to break down everything you need to know about emergency funds, what they are, how much you need, where to keep the money, and how to actually build one from scratch, right here in sunny Singapore. Hi, I'm Fer from Dollar Bureau, a personal finance platform that talks about insurance, investments, and financial planning. Firstly, what is an emergency fund? Let's say your aircon breaks down because you've been blasting it in Singapore's heat, or your boss suddenly tells you that your role has been made redundant, or you get hit with an unexpected hospital bill that insurance only partially covers. That's where an emergency fund comes in. It's not some fancy financial concept, it's just money that you've set aside, especially for those moments in life. Things like medical emergencies, urgent car or home repairs, or losing your income unexpectedly. Now, let's be clear, this is not your holiday fund or maybe I'll buy that new phone account. It's not meant for wants, but it is for needs. It is the buffer that keeps you from scrambling, swiping your credit card out of desperation, or having to borrow money just to get by. And when you live in a place like Singapore where the cost of living is high and things can get expensive fast, having that buffer becomes even more crucial. Now, let's talk about why an emergency fund matters so much. Let's be honest, living in Singapore isn't cheap. From housing to healthcare to hawker center meals that used to be $3 and are now creeping towards $6, it all adds up. So when something unexpected happens, even just one financial hiccup can throw your whole budget off balance. Here's what I mean. Imagine waking up one day to find out that you've been retrenched. No warning, no time to prep. It can take a few months to land your next job, and in the meantime, your rent, your bills, your groceries, your insurance, they're all still coming like clockwork. Or say you fall ill. Sure, you've got MediSave, you have MediShield, and even a Shield plan. But not everything is covered, right? So outpatient treatments, physios, or just the cost of certain meds can quickly add up, especially if you want faster or better care. And here's a simple but often overlooked one. Your phone or your laptop breaks down suddenly. These are not just gadgets, right? It is how we work, how we bank, how we communicate.
Technology.
Being without it, even for a few days, can seriously disrupt your life, and replacing it isn't cheap. An emergency fund is what lets you handle all these situations without panic. It gives you space to breathe, to think, and to act without turning to credit cards, loans, or even calling family for help. Okay, now that you know it's important, let's talk about how much emergency funds you need. The general rule of thumb is to save 3 to 6 months worth of your monthly expenses. So, if your essential expenses, things like rent, utilities, food, and insurance add up to 2.5k a month, you'd want to aim for 7.5 to $15,000. But of course, context matters, right? So if you have multiple income streams or a very stable job, 3 to 4 months could be enough. But if you are the sole breadwinner or work in a more unstable industry, or if you see a bad job market, like how it has been in Singapore in 2024 and 2025, you might want to lean towards the 6-month mark or even up to 12 months. I personally know people who've struggled to find jobs for up to 9 months and more. Imagine not having income but your expenses continue month over month. Some people even calculate their emergency fund based on salary instead of expenses. So 3 to 6 months of income just for that extra cushion. The key here is comfort. How much do you need to sleep soundly at night? Once you've got your number, the next step is figuring out how to actually get there. And if that number feels a little bit intimidating right now, don't worry. Building an emergency fund doesn't happen overnight. It's a gradual process. The good news is there are smart and manageable ways to do it even if you are starting from zero. Step 1 is to set a clear target. Start by figuring out how much your essentials really cost each month. This includes things like rent, mortgage, groceries, utilities, transport, insurance premiums, and other must-pay expenses. Let's say that adds up to 2.5k a month. Multiply that by the number of months you think you'll need. 3 if you want a basic buffer, or 6 to 12 months if you want a bit more security. That means your emergency fund goal would be between 7.5 to $30,000. Having a concrete number gives you something specific to aim for and makes it easier for you to track your progress. Step 2 is to track your cash flow. Before you can start saving seriously, you'll need to know where your money is currently going. Use our financial toolkit, which is an all-in-one personal finance planner that's currently being used by thousands of Singaporeans. Using the cash flow tab, you are able to track where money is coming in and where money is going out. Chances are you'll spot a few leaks here and there and small things that basically add up over time. Maybe it's $100 a month on bubble tea or takeaway or subscriptions that you forgot about. Once you are aware of your spending habits, you are in a better place to position and to redirect some of that money into your emergency funds without making dramatic lifestyle changes, of course. From there, you can use the savings goals tracker to calculate how much more money and how much more time you need to reach this goal. The progress tracker really keeps you accountable to your own goals. Step 3, trim without depriving yourself. Let's be real, no one wants to live on instant noodles and cancel all their fun just to save money, because I know I don't. That's not sustainable. But cutting back a little, that's doable, right? So maybe it's fewer GrabFood orders or skipping one streaming service or shopping smarter at a supermarket. So instead of saying I can't spend on this, try reframing it to how can I spend a little bit less and still enjoy life. It's about small, repeatable habits, not drastic sacrifices. And if you save $200 a month from tiny adjustments, that's 2.4K saved in 1 year. And you didn't even feel the pinch, right? So keeping yourself happy also plays a part in keeping you motivated to meet your financial goals. Step 4, automate it. Now, here's a simple trick that makes a huge difference. Set up a standing instruction or recurring transfer into a separate savings account, ideally right after payday. This way, you pay yourself first before you even think about spending. Automation removes the temptation to skip a month or wait until there's leftover money. Treat your emergency fund like a recurring bill. It deserves the same priority as your utility bills or insurance premiums. Step 5 is to top up your emergency funds with windfalls. So if you have a year-end bonus or a tax refund or ang pao money, use part of it to turbocharge your emergency fund. You don't have to throw the entire thing into it. Just a portion will still move you forward significantly. Windfalls are things that are outside your regular budget, so you using them means you're not really affecting your day-to-day spending. And it's a great way to make progress faster without feeling the effort. And if you freelance or have a side hustle income, earmark is percentage, maybe even 10% to go straight into your emergency fund. Step 6 is to keep going even after you've hit your target. Let's say you finally hit your 3 or 6 month savings goal. First of all, congratulations! That's a huge milestone and you should absolutely celebrate. But don't stop there completely, right? So things change. Your rent might go up. You could have a baby, or inflation might slowly chip away at your fund's value. A fund that was enough 2 years ago might not be enough today. So review it once or twice a year and top up if needed. Okay, now that you've started building up your emergency fund, the next step is figuring out where to actually put the money. Let's be real, this isn't cash you want to YOLO into the stock market or lock up into a 10-year investment plan. Your emergency fund needs to live somewhere that checks 3 key boxes. Number 1 is liquidity. So when your fridge dies or your kid breaks their arm at 2 a.m., you don't want to be waiting for 3 working days for a payout. Your emergency fund should be liquid, meaning you can get to it immediately or at most within 1 to 2 days. Think cash or cash equivalents like bank accounts, not stocks, not crypto, and definitely not your CPF. Number 2, it has to be safe because this isn't money meant to grow aggressively. It's money to be there when things go sideways, right? So that means no risk of loss. You want to store it in a place that's capital guaranteed or SDIC insured or as close to both of them as possible. So no investing in ETFs or even high yield junk bonds. The third one is to earn a bit of interest. So while your goal isn't to make it grow, there's no harm in letting your money earn a little while it waits. Even 1 to 3% per annum is better than nothing. It helps fight off a bit of inflation without sacrificing your safety. You don't have to stick to just one option. A tiered approach works best. So maybe keep 1 or 2 months of expenses in a regular or high interest savings account so you can grab it fast in a real emergency. Then park the rest in something like SSBs or a cash management account for better interest rates, while still keeping it accessible when needed. If you want a full list of places to store your emergency funds, we'll be covering that in an upcoming video, so be sure to like and hit that bell notification icon to get notified. Now, with all this talk about building and storing your emergency fund, you might be wondering, is there a catch? After all, isn't all that cash just sitting there doing nothing? Let's unpack that. Because while emergency funds are incredibly useful, they do come with a downside or two. Money in an emergency fund isn't earning you high returns like your investments might, but that's okay. The goal here isn't to grow wealth, is to create stability. Think of it like insurance. You hope you'll never need to use it, but if you do, you'll be glad that it is there. That's why a tiered strategy works best. Keep immediate cash liquid and the rest earning slightly more in safer instruments. Next is having too much emergency funds. Like, what if you go big and stash away 12 months of expenses? Is this too much? The answer is that it really depends, because if you're self-employed or if you're supporting kids or parents or in a very volatile industry, then no, it's not too much, right? It might even be the most responsible thing you can do. But if you've got a stable income and other safety nets in place, a 3 to 6 month fund is generally enough. There's no perfect number. Start with what feels manageable and from there build on it. The key is progress, not perfection. Alright, now that you've got the full picture from why you need an emergency fund to how and where to build it, here's the big takeaway. An emergency fund gives you more than just financial stability. It gives you options. The option to leave a toxic job, the option to handle a crisis without spiraling into debt. It's freedom, peace of mind, and security all rolled into one. If you want to learn more about emergency funds or how to start saving, you can speak with one of our financial advisors. It's free, and I'll include the link in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more practical financial tips. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.